have you been wondering how companies handle their meats? People are worried on how sanitary the meat workplaces are. Companies push workers to their limits in the workplace so they can either just keel over. And one of the big problems is that when they push it, they sell it out to these fast food places. It kind of just increases obesity rate in the US. I'm about to talk on how meats are handled and processed and what problems meat has for us. So, the meat has to be sterile and safe as possible to be consumed. And basically, workers are constantly getting pushed to the limits by their managers. Therefore, they can either just pass out or get fired when they try to take a break. This is a quote from the Future of Meat article. Meat companies make profits by pushing workers to the limits. By doing so, they just keep doing the process, and then people start passing out and all. Most meats are sent to fast food chains to create fast foods, which is one of the big reasons of obesity. They make because they make good food. It is the main problem of obesity. And this is a quote from Fast Food Shakeout from Maynard. Unhealthy food continues to help drive fast food sales. Food labeling is unclear on sugars and ingredients. You would want to know what you are currently eating, what is actually in your meal. In Chile, they have it all. They have it all listed down. Whatever, like how many sugars, how many vitamins, what they use, or and all that. We don't know what food does and what it really has in there. Consumers want tools and information so they can integrate it into making their little meal or dish when they go buy things, when they buy meals home for the family or for themselves. It is also a quote from Food Labeling. So, they can make meal choices about foods and beverages by having the information beforehand to make for their families, basically just their kids, because the kids are the ones that do need all the nutritious details and all, because they need the benefits from it as well. The problems that meats bring us are very hard to reverse due to the the immense obesity that people still go to fast food places. They enjoy the fast food, and the fast food has many fats, so they just continue eating it over and over and over because it's so good. People do not care about how fat they get because it's so good. There are some people out there that do care on how they look. And this is something from this is some statistics that I did pull up from the Fast Food Shakeout. And by 2015, the obesity rate had jumped to an alarming 39.6%. But back in 1999, the rate was just 20%. So around, not even about almost, it's about 16 years later, and the obesity rate increased by 19%. That is insanely high, and that's not that great for this place. And then there's another quote from Maynard here. When menu mandates do affect people's weight, it's generally only in the short term for a novelty effect that wears off quickly. The workers who work hard to handle the meat and the people who eat the food prepared by fast food chains. Labor costs are rising for the industry as well. Cities and states adopt minimum wage increases, and as many restaurants offer higher pay to deal with a shortage of workers. This is a quote from Stubb. And then we have another quote from Stubb as well. The notion that the United States must choose between safe conditions for meat packing workers on a dependable supply of meats is a false dictionary. And let's just continue on to what I think that we can do for the workers, basically. So workers can be offered more pay for working more. If some workers wish to work more on their own volition or will, then they should get more pay. Instead of pushing workers to their limits, it is better to entice them with benefits for working more, as in working overtime, and also pay them on how their quality of meats are as well. So my plan is just to slowly implement the pay as the meat demand rises. Do the usual. So what I suggest is doing the usual routine of preparing and handling meats. Then tell the workers that they can get more pay based on working overtime efficiently with good quality. And then what you want to do is to allow the workers to do what they want. They can either choose to go to pay more, to work more, and also continually handling the meats. The world, this would mean that workers will not get fired for resting because of the managers just calling them out and like allowing and making them work beyond on what their energy allows them. And what this would do is that it will improve work condition because workers, they can do what they want. And but then if this is not implemented in, workers could either riot, they could not come to work, and there would be possibly no one else to work in the meat industry, for no one left to handle the work. Meat is a necessary protein, but we should know the cons on what the process is like when handling meat. Now you know what happens in companies behind the scenes. Our meats are handled with care, ensuring that it is sterile and good to consume. These meat plant workers work hard to achieve the goal of consumable meats. If workers are offered more, then they will work harder without any consequences or complaints. Managers used to be workers, so they should know what a life of a worker is, and they should also think of the well-being as well, because workers, they gradually get promoted to be a manager in that same point, and they should just think about how their well-being is, because if they're not feeling well, then I think it's just better just to like give them a break, and like don't push them any further than they already are under the immense pressure, since everything has to be extremely clean and sterile and all. And my plan needs to be implemented right away, because as of now, due to the pandemic, is also worrying the people on how clean and sterile and like how the hygiene is in the meat plants. And the worries of the people will then be satisfied and vanquished. This is my speech of the feature of meat, and that is it.